at beautiful Belmont Park, fast and firm, Mother Nature, at least today a fan of thoroughbred racing on Long Island as we are set to go, kicking off our 58-day spring-summer meet. Now, to be fair, this is a game all about individual opinions, but I think the one common theme and thread, everybody's first time at Belmont Park. Walking out onto this grandstand apron, you look at the beauty, the vastness of it, it's a moment none of us ever forget.
I always liken it to going to Yankee Stadium for the first time, walking up that ramp and then looking out at this beautiful expanse of green grass. Well, that's Belmont Park and so much more. And you think about all the history that's taken place here and that historic tree in the paddock and all the champions that have walked beneath it. It feels like a privilege to be here.
It is a privilege to be here. We're delighted to have your company on this opening day edition of Belmont Insider on MSG+. It's Derby Week. Rangers are set to kick off round 2 against the Washington Capitals, and we are back home at the Palace. And this has always been a day, for as long as I can remember, circled on the calendar, one of my favorite days of the racing year. And there was a time when we had an average temperature in January of 35, the coldest February in New York City on record since 1934. This felt like a day, Mig, where we would never get, but we are here.
We are here, and the weather has cooperated. It's basically a rebirth of sorts. We've got good weather, we've got great racing, and we are at the Taj Mahal of thoroughbred racing.
Fast and firm once again. We've got a lot to talk about, beginning with the pair of Belmont Stakes winners squaring off against each other here on Saturday. We'll have that blockbuster Derby Day card that begins at noon. We kick things off with Palace Malice, a Belmont and Met Mile winner, coming back in the Westchester.
Yeah, a very powerful double there, joining very elite company. And it's interesting, you pointed out to me earlier today how rare it is for Belmont Stakes winners to hook up. Well, we've got that right here at Belmont on Saturday, and it's kind of appropriate. Just a big racing day throughout the nation, obviously with the Kentucky Derby, but here's Tonalist picking up his Belmont win last year. What do you think of him with the rail draw in the Westchester and the mile distance? I actually think the mile's okay for him.
Yeah, I think he is a good horse going a 1 mile distance. He picks up Joe Bravo as well. He may have to knock off some ring rust in this race. You just don't know with Palace Malice. And getting back to your original thought regarding Belmont winners squaring off against each other, over the last 2 decades, I could come up with only 4 horses. Drosselmeyer and Ruler on Ice, who are first and third in the 2011 Breeders' Cup Classic. And then you've got to go back to the mid-90s with both Tabasco Cat and Colonial Affair, who met each other in the 1994 Jockey Co Gold Cup. In my mind, I said, well, it's not really, I mean, it's great there's 2 Belmont Stakes winners running against each other, but I think that's probably a feat that happens more often than it does. And I went back and, well, it just doesn't happen all that often.
Yeah, racing oddity, and of course I go back a little further, just being a bit older than you, and I think go back all the way to Riva Ridge and Secretariat, stablemates and Belmont winners running right here at Belmont in the inaugural running of the Marlboro Cup.
All right, Mike Venezia, his award will be given out later this year. Finalists were announced today, an award you won a little over a decade ago in 2003, and I know this is a man and an award that sits very close to your heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike Venezia was just a great person, somebody that I admired, I looked up to, I always felt was somewhat of a mentor, and this award means so much because it speaks about the values that Mike held so dear, being a good person, a good family man, a good citizen, and we've got 4 very worthy nominees this year, starting with Javier Castellano, Cornelio Velasquez, Joe Bravo, who does so much for the Jockeys Guild and the PDJF, as well as John Court, a very a stalwart journeyman in the Midwest. So I think it's a great award and something that I'm glad that we've continued on now. The Venezia family really deserves Mike's memory to be preserved, and he's a big part of the history of Belmont.
Now, as far as the nominees, I know fans, turf riders, and fellow jockeys can get involved with the voting. What is the story as far as fans if they do want to cast a vote?
Yeah, you can go online at NYRA.com. It will be up an online ballot to be able to vote for it. I also believe here on track you'll be able to do that through the program. So it is an award that, unlike the George Wolf Award, which is just riders voting on it, this is riders and fans, and I think we've got 4 very worthy nominees this year. So the fans, I hope you guys get involved. It's an extremely important award for a very important man that unfortunately lost way too soon.
And an award that Hall of Fame rider John Velasquez has won in the past. He's also won the George Wolf Award, and Johnny V is the subject, along with a 3-year-old colt by Giants Causeway in the Wednesday edition of Derby Dozen here on MSG+. Todd Pletcher, the trainer, prepping for the Kentucky Derby with a runaway odds-on victory in the Grade 1 Bluegrass at Keeneland. And what do you think 3 days out from the big dance of Carpe Diem?
Well, Carpe Diem has a lot of ability. I'm just not sure that he's been battle-tested enough, and I don't know that he's going to get a soft pace like this to attend and kick away. Now, that being said, after speaking with Johnny Velasquez, and we'll get to that interview, he kind of was convincing me that he's going to have the kind of position he might need to have to be effective in this Derby. Any other year, you think Carpe Diem might be the favorite going to the Derby. It just speaks to how deep this Kentucky Derby is. There's any one of 8 or 10 horses I think can win this Derby with the right trip.
At least he's got a rider on his back that's already been draped with the roses, Hall of Famer Johnny V, who caught up with you before we left the Big A.
Johnny, the Derby's coming up. You got a live horse in Carpe Diem. What are the positives about riding him in the Derby?
Well, everything positive about about him. Obviously, he's been behind horses, in front of horses. He's been he has less experience going to the Derby though. So he's done everything good so far, and I like the way he does things.
You had a tough choice to make. Materiality, another very talented horse. What went into the decision to stick with Carpe Diem?
Like I was just telling you just a minute ago, the experience. Just about it. The other horse, Materiality, a very, very good horse. I just don't think he had experience going into the Derby. That was the main reason that we stuck to Carpe Diem. Definitely a very difficult decision. A very good horse, Materiality, and very young. I just think he's done so much so quickly, and not having the experience going to the Derby, it was a big point of me sticking to Carpe Diem.
What kind of a trip would you like to get with Carpe Diem? If you could draw the script where you were laying and how the race would unfold, what would it be?
This is really funny because I got this question the other night. It seems like the Bob Baffer's horses, the 2 of them had plenty of speed. The other horse that Wayne Lucas has, actually owned by the same American Pharaohs, like it seems to have a lot of speed, which he was laying second, third, and the Arkansas Derby. There's another horse that got Stephen right in there that has some speed. So it's about 4 horses. They had plenty of speed, 4 to 5 horses. If I can lay there in the middle of them, kind of taking the run of the horses behind me. If I can be 5th, 6th, going to that first turn and get a nice position, and hopefully I can have something to fight down the lane, that'll be great.
And get your second Derby.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Good luck.
Thank you.
After 6 months, I've got the Big A on the brain. Clearly, that was not Aqueduct. That was beautiful Belmont Park, and Johnny V, who clearly does his homework, a man that's got a plan, a man that preps like few other rivals. But what's it like in the Kentucky Derby where you're running against 19 horses and the best laid plans may just go out the window as soon as they open up the starting gate?
Well, and that's the key to it. When the doors open, things do change quickly. Mike Tyson used to say everybody has a plan going into a fight until they take that first big punch. But that's why you have Johnny Velasquez, who's a Hall of Famer. He's a guy that can think on the fly, who can go to a plan B, a plan C, call an audible. I don't think you want anybody more than you want Johnny Velasquez in a big race situation.
And we had Johnny V in the starting gate along with a good group of riders in today's second race, or I should say second running of the Elusive Quality. It went as the featured 8th. It was the opening day anchor, and we'll send it up to John Abrial for the call from the gate.
King Creesa is away well. Plainview is right there. Spring to the Sky, extreme outside. Now Mosler comes on through as the field heads up the backstretch. And it is Plainview with the lead here by a full length over Spring to the Sky, and Mosler is running in 3rd. King Creesa now back in 4th. Down towards the inside is Mr. Online in 5th. Dimension has moved up from 6th. Then comes Slim Shady, followed by Sinatra, and Tight End Touchdown, the quarter, 22 and 2/5 seconds. It's Plainview with the lead here as they go into the turn. Plainview, 3/4 of a length. Spring to the Sky continues to chase in 2nd. Mosler is down at the rail. Then it's King Creesa, and on the extreme outside, it's Dimension, who's running in 5th after a half and 45 and 1. Mr. Online's going to need some racing room there. And alongside him is Slim Shady. Farther back, Sinatra, and then Tight End Touchdown. The half was running 45 and 1, and the field is in the stretch with Spring to the Sky now coming away with a narrow lead. On the outside is Dimension, Slim Shady far outside. Then comes King Creesa, and here comes Mosler. Mosler found a seam through and has taken the lead in deep stretch. And it is Mosler on to victory in the Elusive Quality Stakes. Close for 2nd. Between Plainview, Spring to the Sky, and Slim Shady.
Speaking of the best laid plans, this was about as textbook a turf ride you could get from Joel Rosario. Blue cap, finds a seam. Wow, boy, oh boy.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and that's what you have to do. Save ground, be patient, sit in that pocket, sit tight, be cool. And he was a pretty cool customer. Of course, when you have a lot of horse underneath you, taking you there kind of gives you that license to be just a little bit more patient and calm.
He's the $1 million yearling with the $1 million man, and Joel Rosario, who was with Richie after taking the Elusive Quality.
Joel, it looked like Mosler was traveling really well behind horses. Were you a little worried before you turned for home that it might not open up?
Yes, actually, I can see, Jose horse, he was in the inside, and he going a little bit, okay, let me stay here. But and the other horses, the high side horses, you kind of stay there. Then I went to them, Jose, come on a little bit. Then I was not sure about it, but they opened up, and then he was again the whole way. He, like you said, he was traveling really nice the way it looked like.
Once you got in there, you seemed very confident. I don't think you ever went to the whip, did you?
No, you never, because he was moving really nice, and I went, with the whip when I take the lead just to get him attention. That's it. But he would do it all. So I was really happy.
When do you leave for Louisville to ride Frosted in the Derby?
Tomorrow night.
Are you excited?
Very excited. It's always excited just to be in the Derby.
Well, good luck, and we wish you the best of everything.
Thank you, Rich.
Man brings a good bit of levity to the jockeys colony here at Belmont Park, and a world-class rider in Joel Rosario for a world-class Hall of Fame trainer in Belmont. Maybe it's somewhat fitting here on this opening day edition of Insider that Belmont wins the Elusive Quality. Of course, a horse that he still owns the wider turf record, going a mile from July 4th, 1998, when they won the poker in 31 and 63.
Yeah, that's like an unheard of time to break a mile in 1:32. 2 years ago it was 1:33. That's almost like a Gallop racer time. It's just almost mythical. But yeah, Bill trained Elusive Quality for the Maktoum family, so it's nice that he actually takes down the first running of this race.
All meets, all stands begin with the number 1. We will do that right after this quick timeout on Belmont Insider. Back to beautiful Belmont Park. A good portion of the backyard area here at Belmont resod over the winter. The building looked great, and the place was buzzing. Good crowd on both the apron and in the backyard all day long.
And you could really hear the crowd, the enthusiasm from up in the office. A couple of close finishes, and the crowd was cheering, and it's always nice to have that atmosphere.
And we've got a good stretch battle coming. In fact, John Abrial with the call. It's the meet opener, race number 1. Good group of New York-bred fillies and mares.
They're in the gate. And they're off at Belmont Park, and it was a hesitant beginning for Hot Stone. She's at the back of the pack. Up front, Carry Me Away goes for the lead, and Missed the Point is racing in second. Then comes Vicky's Dancer, who's running in third. Length and a half to Hot Stone's. Hot Rendezvous is the trailer in fifth. Carry Me Away leads here by a little more than 2 lengths. Vicky's Dancer, Missed the Point, right together, second and third through an opening quarter in 23 seconds. Hot Stones is in fourth, about 6 lengths from the front. And then it's Hot Rendezvous who continues to trail as Carry Me Away continues to lead. Carry Me Away by a length and a half over Missed the Point. Vicky's Dancer on the outside in third, a break of 3 to Hot Stones and Hot Rendezvous. Into the stretch now. The half, 45 and 4/5 seconds. Missed the Point on the outside of Carry Me Away, and the two of them are heads apart. And now Missed the Point takes the lead from Carry Me Away. It's Missed the Point narrowly. Carry Me Away continues to battle on. They come for the wire, and the opener goes to Missed the Point by a neck. Carry Me Away was second. Hot Rendezvous finished third.
I think we've finally gotten the point from Missed the Point. She shows up, she runs hard, and more often than not, she gets it done.
Yeah, she is just ultra consistent in game, and the Toscano family picking up where they left off. They've been on a good run. They do a great job. Happy to see them in the winner's circle start off Belmont the right way. And Angel Cruz, our leading rider at the recently concluded Aqueduct Spring Meet, starts Belmont Park off right. And that's got to feel good. Young rider coming to Belmont to win right away. Any doubts you might have about adjusting to the mile-and-a-half track they just washed right away.
Yeah, right. This was essentially a New York-bred overnight stake, a $75,000 purse, a stakes quality field, and Angel Cruz is the one getting his picture taken. For his confidence, I mean, that had to take him right to the moon.
Absolutely, because no matter what happened the last meet, everybody's starting with a clean slate, and it doesn't matter what happened yesterday. What's going to happen today and tomorrow going forward? And Belmont's a different animal than Aqueduct, and he just showed he's very proficient here as he was over there.
All right, speaking of clean slates, Bay of Plenty, who's had quite a few layoffs throughout his talented but fragile career, he was coming back as a big favorite in today's fourth race, and all eyes were on the Godolphin color bearer for Kieran McLaughlin.
Bay of Plenty away well and out for the lead. Sky Commander on the outside. And then it's a length to Lucky Lotto in third. Another length and a half to Wealth to Me, who's running in fourth. Spa City Fever down at the rail in fifth. And the five of them head up the Belmont backstretch. And Bay of Plenty, the big favorite here, is in front by a length. Sky Commander is in second. And down on the inside is Lucky Lotto. The gray, Wealth to Me, moves up a spot on the outside after a quarter in 24 and 1/5 seconds. A break of 3 to Spa City Fever, who's fifth and last. Bay of Plenty is the leader here by a full length over Sky Commander. Wealth to Me on the outside in third. Lucky Lotto tailing off a bit and racing in fourth. And Spa City Fever continues to trail as the field moves midway on the turn after a half and 47 seconds. Bay of Plenty by 3/4 of a length over Sky Commander. A gap of 3. Wealth to Me is running in third. Then farther back, Lucky Lotto and Spa City Fever. Bay of Plenty still in control as they come for the top of the stretch. Bay of Plenty is in front now by 2.5 lengths. Sky Commander in second. Wealth to Me under the whip on the outside in third. 3/4 in 1:10 and 3. Bay of Plenty in front by 4. Wealth to Me now moves into second. Then Spa City Fever, Lucky Lotto, and Sky Commander has dropped back to last. It's Bay of Plenty, and Bay of Plenty comes off the layoff to win here in front-running style. Looked like Wealth to Me got second over Lucky Lotto. Then Spa City Fever.
Easy enough for the 4 for 7 4-year-old son of Medaglia d'Oro and Bay of Plenty. Good to have him back.
Good to have him back. Let's hope he stays healthy because he is a horse that has a lot of ability. Unfortunately, his racing's been a bit spotty, but boy, you have to give so much credit to Kieran McLaughlin and his team to have this horse ready to fire like this off the bench. Not an easy thing to do.
For a barn, when we see assistant trainer Art Magnuson in the winner's circle, and Kieran's got the numbers. He's got a number of well-bred horses, quite a few. He's got great people that work for him, and this is a barn now over the last 30 days is 18 for its last 42, which is right over 40%.
A good way to go into the Kentucky Derby with Frosted, having your barn that hot, the enthusiasm and that atmosphere in the barn is so good, and I think horses feed off of that. But a really tough thing to do to bring a big colt like this back off a layoff and have him that fit, because they generally get to be a little bit stuffy, a little bit heavy. I think this horse really, really ran, and he showed he was ready.
Curious to see where they go with Bay of Plenty, who's now out of allowance conditions. We'll see if he winds up in a handicap-graded stake soon as we get on to perhaps the world's fastest pick 6 on this opening day program. In fact, we'll do it faster than Elusive Quality in the 98 Poker.
Brandini in front by 4. Gingy in second. Over My Head is now 7 lengths from the front. Then Childhood Dream. It is Brandini with the lead as they come down for the 16th pole. Gingy is a clear-cut second, and Brandini is a clear-cut winner. Gingy was second, Over My Head third. And Heavy Hitter. Norman's Hero on top as they come for the top of the stretch. On the outside is Wild Freud. Swing Dixie is back running in third. The half and 46 and 1. Here's Wild Freud up on the outside to take over the lead from Norman's Hero. It's Wild Freud in front. Norman's Hero back running in second. And Swing Dixie is third. It's Wild Freud with the lead. Norman's Hero trying to come back again on the inside. Wild Freud, Norman's Hero, Wild Freud by a head. Norman's Hero second. 6 lengths back to Swing Dixie in third. Hour now Spectacular Me moves into second and moves to the outside of a Violet Hour, and Spectacular Me has gone on with it to take over the lead. Ladies Lunar Luck putting in a late bid on the outside. Spectacular Me in front now by almost 3. Violet Hour, Ladies Lunar Luck in the battle for second, It's going to be Spectacular Me at 3-5. And Ladies Lunar Luck got up for second. Violet Hour was third. And Just One of a Kind, and they're all chasing Laura Candisco, who has the lead, but the lead is down to 3. Scatcapade runs in second. On the extreme outside, Lady of Victory putting in a late bid. Laura Candisco in front by 2.5. Then Scatcapade, Lady of Victory, and My Caramia. They come for the wire. Laura Candisco holds on. Key, and the field heads for home now. Colorado Grand Slam has opened up. Colorado Grand Slam in front by 3.5 lengths. On the extreme outside, it's H-Man now moving into second. Colorado Grand Slam trying to hold off the late bid here of H-Man. Colorado Grand Slam. H-Man driving on the outside. Colorado Grand Slam held on. H-Man was second, then Humboldt Street and Howell. Here on Salsa Dog. Salsa Dog challenged on the outside by Boone Station. Salsa Dog holding off Boone Station right now. St. Louis Extreme outside, then 4th of July. Salsa Dog and Boone Station and St. Louis on the outside, and 4th of July putting in a late run. It's St. Louis and 4th of July. Look like St. Louis got it. It'll be a photo with 4th of July.
On a day, and welcome back to Insider, we've got our second look coming up, and on a day which is all about good things to come. St. Louis winning the nightcap. Does that bode well for Marty St. Louis? Maybe waking him up in the second round?
I think it might wake his stick up a little bit, and he needs to. I mean, we know he's a top world-class hockey player, but we need to see him a little bit more in this playoff, step up, him and Nash. But I think St. Louis winning the last here on opening day at Belmont Park is an omen. I think it's all about the Rangers.
7:30 MSG tomorrow night, and we hope you're right. At around 5:30 today, it was Irad Ortiz, though, aboard this Colt by Arch, who was ready to rock and roll. Second-time starter who had not run since his career debut, and a good one at that. Late September, last fall at Belmont, and Alan Goldberg clearly had this horse sitting on a peak effort first time out in 2015.
Alan Goldberg trains down there in Colts Neck Private Training Center, and he brings him up ready to run, and it's a hard thing to do. The atmosphere is so different in a training center as opposed to the racetrack.
All right, let's move on to claims here on this opening day program. There was one mare that caught my eye, and apparently everybody else. Spectacular Me, who's just as honest as they come, and they were falling over themselves trying to get a slip in the box.
8-way shake, Steve Caceres. He must have a lucky charm, some kind of good luck charm going on there, but Spectacular Me will have dinner tonight in Caceres' barn.
It's an 8-race Thursday card. 1:20 p.m. is the post, and we've got a few Rangers fans out here on this opening day program. We've got our Thursday preview coming up. We hit the green, and stay with us. Welcome back. Oh, man, that's one of the best-kept secrets in all of Long Island. The backyard here at Belmont Park looks terrific. A number of high-def flat screens were put in, and we are set to go here as we continue on day number 2 tomorrow. Day number 4 is Kentucky Derby Day, Mig, this Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of good racing. I was looking at the overnight. We got some great racing to look forward to here, and, of course, the Kentucky Derby and all of those great activities.
And some live tunes from Parachute and Tonalist and Palace Malice knocking heads in race number 6, the Westchester. On to race number 3 Thursday. Keep in mind, an abbreviated card. The Pick 6 gets underway with the Interturf 6 furlong New York bred allowance sprint. These are 3 and up fillies and mares, and Lady Creasa had a troubled trip just angling out or trying to angle out the yellow cap last October.
Yeah, very tough trip, trying to work her way through traffic. Never really had a clean shot at it. But all you need to know is this horse is trained by David Donk, who's been doing tremendous work with horses off the layoff, on the turf. Lady Creasa gets Irad Ortiz back aboard, and I think she'll be very tough to beat, even on the turn back off the layoff.
Good April on the turf in Queens for David Donk. It's been a good year all over for John Toscano, who runs Amber Morning.
Yeah, Amber Morning. Some good races down at Gulfstream, and now comes up here. I think the 6 furlong suits her as well. I think 5 might have been a little too short. She's already won at 6 here at Belmont, and another horse coming out of a very hot barn.
Rudy Rodriguez hoping for a big weekend. He, of course, on Friday has Condo Commando as one of the choices in the Kentucky Oaks, and he runs Sweet Polly Purebred in her turf debut, although at a quick glance, Mig, I don't see much turf pedigree.
Yeah, it didn't jump off the page at me. I didn't do a lot of basically homework looking into it, but at first glance, I don't see a lot of turf pedigree there. It seems to me like maybe it's a place to get her started as well.
Jose Ortiz has the call on Sweet Polly Purebred, who does have talent. I may even argue she's the best horse in the race. We'll see how she does on the green stuff. And during the Prattle, Maggie Wolfendale will get us up to speed on how she looks, and Andy Serling standing by as well on who to look for on day number 2.
Thursday's 7th race. 6 furlongs on the turf, an interesting race. And one of the reasons I want to play it is a horse who will be one of the choices is the 4 A.P. Johnson. And that horse has got to beat me. The horse to beat in here is the 7 Given Fire. And I consider Given Fire the horse to beat. But I'm going to try to beat her, or at least play some exactas with Given Fire with the 6 Barrier to Entry. Barrier to Entry actually finished well behind Given to Fire back in Saratoga, but had a brutal trip that day and has had a lot of brutal trips in her career. But I think that Barrier to Entry is actually a lot better than she looks in the PPs, and I don't think she'll have any problem in a turf sprint. She has the speed to put herself in the game, and maybe Barrier the Entry can be a decent price in the 7th race on Thursday as we head out to Maggie.
Thanks, Andy. And my mother always said there'd be days like this. It's absolutely beautiful here at Belmont Park. So happy to be back in the paddock and delivering another Paddock Insider for the Thursday card. We're going to take a look at race number 3. It's an allowance race for the New York bred fillies and mares, and we're going 6 furlongs on the turf. I'm going to take a shot with a bit of a flyer in here. She's going to offer a decent value, and that is number 3, Moldavite. First time on the turf. To me, she's always looked like a turf sprinter. I mean, she has a turf hoof on her. She's just that stocky built kind of filly. And 2, there's pedigree to back up my assumptions. And she is a daughter of Cosmonaut. That is turf influence. And on the bottom side, this is the dam's first foal, but the dam was a turf winner herself. So we're going to go with Moldavite, trying the green stuff here tomorrow at Belmont Park for your Paddock Insider. Richie, Jay?
Little Moldavite on the turf. Andy coming up with a good price and Barrier to Entry, and a little turf debut for Ned Allard and Moldavite in race number 3. And of course, a Thursday card. We need to get there in order to get to Derby Day on Saturday. And how forward are you looking to this Kentucky Derby?
I'm so excited about it. I'm a racing fan. I started out my career in racing first as a fan, going out to Aqueduct as a young boy, and then obviously being here to see Seattle Slew win the Triple Crown. So I am excited about this Derby because it's as deep a Derby as I can remember in my lifetime. Any one of 8 or 10 horses can win, and I'm excited to see who's going to have that Derby glory Saturday.
Awesome. It'll be a $40 low roller contest on track here Saturday. You can sign up first floor of the grandstand. It's an easy game when you know how. We do it all again tomorrow right here on MSG Plus. Hope you had a terrific opening day at beautiful Belmont Park. Our good old buddy Big Red standing guard in the paddock. And we'll see you tomorrow night right here on MSG Plus.